May I ask, where are the pastors? Where are the preachers? Where are the men and women of God that know what is actually happening right here, right now, and have the guts to stand up and lead this nation back to common sense, to kindness, to the 10 Commandments, the golden rule, everything our parents and grandparents taught us, all the things that that simple man from Nazareth taught? I want you to listen to me really carefully. I want you to listen to these words. This nation is not evil. But believe me, it is about to be. If good men and women do not stand up, if they continue to do nothing, the freedom we all enjoy, as well as the hope of freedom, now only dreamt about by the 40 million men, women, and children who are actual slaves today, those who have been taken, ripped from their families so they could be sold to the highest bidder, and that doesn't even include the political prisoners, those who are persecuted because of their faith, their sexuality, their race, or 100 other stupid reasons. That small flicker of hope that those people hold on to, that there's somewhere to run, that somebody cares, that somebody's coming, that somebody hasn't forgotten them, that light will be snuffed out. And we will become more dark and terrible than any of the totalitarian states Karl Marx could have ever imagined. Where are you, moms and dads, grandparents, millennials? Where are all the black matriarchs? Those of you who know what's good and healthy for your grandchildren, you know what this country can mean for them. You know your grandchildren's biggest threat comes from the streets, the gangs, the drugs, and the loss of God. Where are you? Do you realize that only 16% of the American public, and that's white and black, Republican, Democrat, only 16% of the American public are actually for defunding the police. Even fewer are for disbanding the police. Now, why is that? Because you and I both know what life in the cities would mean without a police force. We know it. Chaos, cruelty, and all those who are the most vulnerable will suffer the worst. But mark my words, no matter how much you play along, the mob will come for you. They will take what you have, because when you actually read the words or listen to people like I just played for you, the people who lead these groups, they are for revolution. They are for chaos. They are for taking you, the system, and everything you've ever held dear down, rip it apart, destroy it, burn it, and never look back. Where's your voice? America, why are you silent? What your grandparents, the greatest generation, what they fought for is about to be lost, but not on the beaches of Normandy. No, shamefully, it's all about to be lost with a yawn and a whimper. Father's Day is this weekend. Where are you, fathers? Have we all been so hypnotized and so misled by social media that we fail to see the cost to our children? Hey, Columbus, Ohio, they're now demanding that the statue of Columbus be taken down. Well, when there is no Columbus, what's the name of your city? Chaz? Chop? Afraid? Look, I understand fear. I understand the fear of losing your job. I understand the fear of losing your friends, being an outcast. I've been there. I understand the fear of losing your life, being completely erased. But there is more to this gift of life and freedom that we have been granted here in this country. There's more to it than a job or popularity. I've lived this gift far more than my fair share. I'm okay. I'm okay with losing it for me if it means saving it for my grandchildren and my children. Because that's what's happening. And it's our turn to stand as Martin Luther King or Abraham Lincoln stood. And they were afraid. They were terrified. They were tired. Have you seen the look of Abraham Lincoln in a few short years? He didn't want to do any of that. But he knew someone had to do it. The same for Martin Luther King. He knew that he was born at that time for a reason, just as you are born at this time for a reason as well, in this country. And it wasn't to bow down. It wasn't to kneel down. It wasn't to grovel and kiss the feet of Marxist revolutionaries. They will not bring you a new peaceful world. They will bring you one of terror, oppression, death for our children. We're about to hit an amazing birthday for our nation in just a few short years. 300 years, the oldest constitution in the world. And it's hanging by a thread. And what are our churches doing? Oh, shame on you, churches. Our churches are either preaching Marxism or its gateway drug from the pulpit, or they're just playing it safe, carving out a safe space for their church or their faith, or just remaining silent so they can keep their congregation intact for the tithing money. Which is worse? At least the Marxists, the social justice warriors, at least they believe in something. Do you even believe the words you preach? Have you all gone mad? Where is this? Where is freedom? Where is forgiveness? This is a message of no forgiveness. Where's the individual in this scheme? Because Christ didn't come for us as a group. He came for us each individually. This is a mob. Did Jesus preach mobs, looting, class warfare? Did he teach one race over another, redistribution of wealth? Did he and his apostles throw down the statues of the Roman gods? Because certainly the Son of God found those statues offensive and personally hurtful. Do the disciples of God, do the disciples of Jesus Christ now support revenge, covetousness, and violent revolution? The lies, the deception, the downright deceit. It is evil. And if you don't see it, or at least feel that something has gone wrong here, frankly, you may be too lost. But believe me, history will find you. History will remember you for what you chose to do or not do as man's greatest experiment to see if men could rule themselves. Oh, history will remember that when it got tough, because frankly, it became too easy, you traded our freedom for what? For what? No cops? You're an imbecile. Man, if I were the devil, I couldn't have planned this better. Where are you, valiant, honest men and women who are awake? Stand up. Square your shoulders. You are the son or daughter of the only king who doesn't need you. He wants you. Has anybody noticed the gift that we've been given lately? Because of COVID, we've had a short period of time where everything, all this busy nonsense of the world is put on pause, a chance to come back to our families, to our roots, to our God. We have been taken out of the noise and the filth of the world so we could be quiet enough to remember who we really are. And yet we're still restless. Why? Because even in this miraculous time, we haven't recognized the only thing that can truly give us rest. Listen. If tomorrow, and time is of the essence, if tomorrow we began a massive national action not to do anything but personally teach our children the true history and then stand in our own communities, we win. because we surround them. Americans versus Marxists, not left versus right. Americans versus Marxist revolutionaries. But let me just say this. Even if we didn't have a chance of winning, where are those who would join a losing fight just because it's right? Where are the real civil rights leaders of today who will take a beating from this Marxist mob because it's right? Where are those today that died at the Alamo? It'd be funny if it weren't so tragic. They died for the freedom of those they didn't even know. And this generation won't even risk being defriended for those we love. Where are those who came from foreign lands? Where are those who saw the promise of freedom when they were oppressed? Where are those who were held captive elsewhere? Those who loved America's founders behind the Iron Curtain? Those who know this evil because they seen this evil. They lived it when so many didn't. Your new country needs you. Where are the Cuban and Venezuelan communities? Your country is being torpedoed by thieves and saboteurs that you personally have seen come and rape your own country before. This country is going down. It is time. All hands on deck. Organize yourselves. Where are the handful of men and women who know why Gandhi and MLK won? Who have the peace, the love, the fortitude to march hand in hand into the jaws of hell? Who is it now that has the faith to know that the gospel truths are the only shield you need? Who will call out this evil by name? Who will not apologize for what you know is true? Let me tell you something. All of the forces on earth are arrayed against you. That is absolutely true. It was reported today that the leaders of Black Lives Matter have spent millions on travel and consulting. I was in the Tea Party. We didn't have $100 between us. And you know what? This time we won't have any of that either. But if we are united in our cause and humbly ask God for forgiveness and guidance, who could possibly stand against us? Know this, He will never be on our side. We must be on His side. And here's the great thing. They are so delusional, they think they've already won. They're arrogant, and in their arrogance, they will fail. They want violence and chaos, but if we fight fire with water, hate with love, chaos with peace, they will not know what to do. And the world will watch as perhaps they haven't, since simple Americans put a man on the moon and Martin Luther King marched against actual racist cops. The media, the elite academia, far too many in our local state and federal positions, they need you to feel small and insignificant. That's what they've been doing to you for 15 years. But you are not. You have all the power, or they would have silenced you or me a long time ago. They are afraid of you. When we are one, we are unstoppable. Never bet against a united America. Sarah, blow off the spot. I'll make it up later. Pause for 10 seconds for the stations. 1, 2, 3. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go out and get the 5,000-year leap. I haven't talked about it for a while. I need you to read it. I want you to learn it. I want you to get a pocket constitution. I want you to learn it and teach it. I want you to get a Bible and read it and preach it. You need to stand. You stand proudly as an American. This country is not evil. You stand proudly with the truth. You stand peacefully together. You march like king. You are not a racist. This country is good. We saved millions from the death chambers of Marxism, and we have millions more to yet set free. This is not about white versus black or rich versus poor or even left versus right. This is simply about right versus wrong. And I, for one, will not go over the cliff with the rest of humanity. I know what's true. I know what's right. You will not silence my voice. We were known the world over as people who did the impossible, as a force for light and goodness, and we will be again. But only if you stand now. Only if you speak now with love, and only what you know to be true. It is time, America, to come out of the shadows. It is time for your voice to be heard. Take a stand. Because if you do, together we will restore our sacred Constitution and the promise of the Declaration of Independence. And we will reach higher heights of opportunity and equality, because that's the one thing we have in common with the protesters. Except I think we actually believe in it. They're just using people. Let us live up to our ideals. Let us restore truth, justice, and the American way. Let us live the Constitution. Let us all once again find these truths to be self-evident. But let's do it together. Let's do it in peace and love, and with God's light, not man's. And let us mutually pledge to one another our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.